Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about something that's a really big deal, a huge shift in how we actually talk to AI. We're finally moving past those kind of clunky, turn-by-turn chats and into a future where conversations with AI feel, well, natural.
But let's start with something I'm sure you've all felt. You're talking to an AI assistant and it just feels off, right? There are these awkward pauses and it feels less like a conversation and more like you're just giving commands to a machine. So, why is that?
You know, the best way to think about this is with a pretty simple analogy. Right now, most AI is like a walkie-talkie. You talk, then you wait. You say over. But the future, that's way more like a phone call. It's a smooth, two-way street where you can both talk and listen at the same time.
All right, so let's dig into this whole walkie-talkie problem. What's really crucial to understand here is that this stop-and-go feeling, it isn't some weird design choice. It's actually a deep, fundamental limitation that's baked right into the architecture of these systems.
The technical culprit has a name. It's called the request-response model, and it works exactly like it sounds. You send a complete request, your entire sentence, and then you just have to wait for the AI to process all of it and send a complete response back. At any given moment, it's a one-way street.
So this old-school model, it creates some pretty serious roadblocks that are holding AI back from being genuinely interactive. We're going to look at the three biggest ones, and I guarantee you've run into all of them.
First up, the one we all feel the most, perceived latency. And this isn't just about how fast the computer is, it's about the feeling of that delay. You know that weird, unnatural pause in the conversation? That happens because the AI literally can't start thinking about its reply until you have completely finished your sentence. It has to wait for your over, and that just completely shatters the natural rhythm of a real conversation.
Okay, the second limitation really shows up when an AI needs to use a tool, like searching the web or checking your calendar.
In this request-response world, when an AI has to use a tool, it's like it has to put your conversation on hold. It goes off, does this whole separate task, and then it comes back to you to report what it found. It's not part of the conversation. It's this clunky separate step that makes everything feel segmented.
And finally, we get to what might be the trickiest problem of them all, clumsy multimodality. This is a fancy term for how AI handles more than just text or your voice.
This is exactly why an AI can hear you, but it can't easily react to something it sees on video at the very same time. The old systems have to process the audio as one job, process the video as a completely separate job, and then try to stitch them together after the fact. It's just not a unified, truly aware experience.
Okay, so with all these issues, it's pretty clear that the old model has basically hit a wall. So the really big question is, how do we break out of this box? How do we finally hang up the walkie-talkie for good?
Well, the answer isn't just a small fix. It's a complete paradigm shift in how these systems are built. We moved to something called a bidirectional streaming solution, and it's all about creating a persistent, two-way conversational highway.
The best way to picture it is like an open phone line. Instead of sending a complete message and then waiting, both you and the AI can send and receive little bits of information at the exact same time. The whole concept of taking a turn just disappears. The AI can start thinking as you're talking, and you can interrupt it, just like a real chat.
And what's so powerful here is how this new model directly solves those three huge problems we just talked about. It unlocks true interruptibility. It lets tools become proactive and stream information to you in real time. And it finally creates a unified way for an AI to process multiple senses at once.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but how do developers actually build these next-gen agents? Well, that's where new toolkits are coming into play, like the Agent Development Kit, or ADK.
You can really just think of the ADK as a toolbox that's been designed specifically for this new streaming world. It gives developers four key innovations, four building blocks, to handle all the complexities of these real-time conversations, so they don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time.
One of the most powerful ideas here is the stateful session, which basically acts as the memory for the entire conversation. So if your request needs to be handed off from a general AI to a more specialist one, this entire session context, this briefing packet, gets transferred over. The new agent is instantly up to speed, and you never have to repeat yourself. It's brilliant.
This also completely redefines what a tool can even be. So instead of asking for a stock price and just getting one static answer, a streaming native tool can act more like a stock monitor. It just runs in the background, giving you a continuous, live feed of updates right inside the conversation.
So when you bring all of these pieces together,
The new architecture, the developer tools, these new capabilities, it becomes really clear that this isn't just some small incremental update. We are stepping into a completely new era of AI interaction.
This is going to fundamentally change our daily interactions. We're talking about proactive assistants that give you traffic updates before you even ask. Agents with genuine awareness that can react to what you're saying and what's happening on your screen at the same time. Suddenly, really complex, multi-step tasks just feel as simple as having one long, intelligent conversation.
And this really brings us to our final thought. For years, we've been limited by that walkie-talkie. But now, the technology is finally evolving to give us a true conversational partner. So the real question isn't about the technology's limits anymore. It's about our own imagination. When these conversations become truly seamless, what will we choose to build together?